Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about my boob job story. I got my boobs done 3.5 years ago now. I got them done in April of 2015. So the way I'm going to structure this video is just to give you a little bit of background on why I wanted my boobs done, the company I decided to go with and why. I'm going to be doing, I'm going to go over the first consultation, the surgeon consultation, the surgery day and recovery. I'm also going to include how much I paid and how I paid for it, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how pregnancy has affected them at the end also. So stay around if you want to hear a little bit about that and how pregnancy affects boob jobs. I have a few little tips that I think everyone should use just to look after their boobs basically. I'm just going to jump straight in and talk about my background and what size I was pre-boob job and why I wanted my boobs done. So I've always had small boobs before I got my boobs done. In my teenage years I was always very slim framed, I was always very skinny. Oh, so jealous, I wish I was still skinny now. But yeah, that means I never really had much boobage going on. So the size I was pre-boob job was a 32B. I actually had one boob bigger than the other. If I remember rightly, it's my left boob which was the smaller boob, and I'd always wanted my boobs done practically because I never really had much, and I always wanted that nice cleavage. I got to around 17, 18 and I started going on nights out and clubbing and things. I just really didn't feel comfortable wearing like backless dresses and low cut dresses. I just didn't have much confidence for it basically. I did put on a little bit of weight at my late teens, and they did get a little bit bigger actually, but I still had to wear padded bras, and people actually thought I did have big boobs, but I didn't. I just made them look big, and everyone said to me, but you had big boobs anyway. I didn't. I was a 32B. I just used to get the super thick padded bras. I think it was from like Lazenza, if anyone remembers Lazenza. And they was like triple padding, and I just used to wear them. But yeah, I didn't really have much confidence to go through with it, to be honest, and I didn't actually get my boobs done until I was 24, which I feel like was a very good age. I'd stopped growing. This was definitely the size I was going to be. I felt like I was mature enough to make that decision. So I'll include a few before pictures now if I can find any. If not, I will include them further along in this video. So the look that I wanted to go for was obviously bigger and natural. I didn't want the stuck-on look, which I feel like everyone worries about when they get their boobs done. Don't get me wrong, I can make them look fake, like stuck on look, if I wanted to, but naturally they sit very, like naturally with no bra, they sit very, very natural, and that is what I wanted. So after tons and tons of research, I decided I wanted to go to a size E. I know this sounds very, very big, but boob job sizes somehow measure up really different. So a size E, which I was seeing on other people with my similar frame, looked perfect from what I wanted. I mean, what's the point in getting a boob job if you're not going to go all out? Like, come on. I know it's not for everyone, but I just don't see the point if you're going to go up one size. And I'm still to this day, I'm very glad I chose that size. So the company that I chose to go with was MYA Cosmetic Surgery, and the reason why I chose them was purely because of their online forum. I was on their online forum for months and months and months, and everyone who had posted their stories from their surgery and how they got on, it was all very positive, and I didn't really have any problems with them like through my journey, but they did have quite a bad reputation. I'm not sure why this is, because they're fine, well for me anyway, and everyone that I know that went through them, everything's been fine. So I chose to go with them. I had all my appointments in the MYA Chelmsford office, and I went for my surgery in the London hospital, which is called the Fitzroy, if I remember. Yeah, the Fitzroy. So rewinding back to February 2015, one day I just decided, that's it, I'm getting my boobs done. I've had enough. I've had enough of wearing padded bras. I'm getting them done. So I phoned up, I booked my first consultation, and I met this very lovely girl. I'm sorry if you keep hearing me like this, I'm tapping on my notes. I met with this very, very lovely girl. I think her name was Emma, and she was going to be my consultant for the whole way through. So yeah, I met with Emma, and she basically went over everything, like the sizes you can have, the profiles, all that jazz. She answered all my questions for me, and then she matched me to a surgeon based on the look that I wanted. and she matched me with Dr. Fratty, which I'm very pleased about because I'd heard such good things about him. He's basically known as the boob god, and as far as I'm aware, he doesn't actually work for MYA no more, but he does have his own clinic, I believe, in London. So you can still book through him. So he was basically the best surgeon at their company, and I was very pleased to be matched with him. He specialises in natural, which is what I wanted. So I went away with all my information, my whole pack, booklet, everything. I just wanted to really make sure this is definitely what I wanted to go through. But I think after about a week, I decided this is definitely what I want. So I emailed Emma and she booked in my surgery date. And the reason why I did this, there was no obligation for me to carry on. I just booked in my surgery date because I knew I wanted to have it done. Just like secured that date, so I didn't have to wait longer basically. And she then, obviously because I booked my surgery, she booked my surgeon consultation as well. In March 2015, I met with Dr. Fratty. I told him what I wanted, the size that I wanted, and the look that I wanted to go for. And before I even mentioned my size difference in my boobs, he actually recognised that during examining me anyway. And so I told him I wanted to go to an E basically, and he said, no way, too big, you're going to get stretch marks. I recommend you only go to a D, double D max, and that's all I'm going to give you because I just don't think it's going to look nice and you're going to get stretch marks basically. So I appreciate his honest opinion, and that's what I decided to go for, because at the end of the day, what you want is not always what you can get, and they've done this hundreds of times and they know what looks best basically. Yeah, like I said, I needed two different size implants. So in my left I had a 375cc high profile, and in my left I had a 400cc high profile, and in my right I had a 375cc high profile, and that's what I was going for. Those round mentor implants. So I left there, to be honest. So a little bit of a review on Dr. Fratty. He's very straightforward. He's not very talkative at all, but he's not there to be your friend. He's there to advise you on how to make your boobs look good. And I think I was actually in my consultation for about 10 minutes. He knew exactly what I wanted, and I really did feel comfortable going with him, even though it was a really short consultation. And yeah, I was very happy with it. Then fast forward to April 2015, it was my surgery day. I think I went in for a pre-op a week before this, but I don't really remember much about that. So I travelled into London to the Fitzroy Hospital, and my mum and my nan came with me. I think I ended up being third on the list if I remember, but there was a few problems. So I think I got there at around 8 or 9 AM, and I didn't actually go down for surgery until around 2. Because there was a problem with the girl before me. I did have a double room to myself, which was amazing. So I had the whole room with 2 beds and everything to myself. I didn't have anyone share with me, which was a plus. So yeah, I got there, had a double room to myself. I put my sexy gown on and my sexy socks with the little hat. I think I have a picture of me somewhere. I'm going to try and find it. Then obviously a little while later, the nurse comes in. She does all like your blood pressure and things like that, and just to make sure that you're still suitable for surgery. Then Dr. Fratty came down. He done all my measurements, drew on me, like when they have to write on what one's going in what and things like that. Took my before pictures. Around 2 o'clock, they come and got me and said, right, we're ready for you. So I literally walked all the way to the surgery room and laid on the surgery bed, which I didn't think you did, but I did. Things like that don't scare me. I was not really scared of being put under. It's just not something that I'm really scared of, to be honest. Yeah, I literally laid on the surgery bed, the operating table basically. I just laid on there. And I started obviously putting in the cannulas in your hand and things like that. And literally, I think I was laying down for like 5 minutes, and I was like, right, we're ready to put you under. And I was gone. I don't remember anything after that until I woke up. So I finally came round, and the first thing I remember is the 2 assistants, like nurses who help you afterwards. They was talking about hay fever, because obviously this is hay fever season, and I just come out with, if you put Vaseline in your nose, it stops your hay fever, and everyone just started cracking up. And like, you just say really weird things when you come round from anaesthetic. Yeah, that's just one crazy thing I remember. Up to this point, everyone was very, very nice. All the nurses were brilliant. Everyone was just amazing, like who I'd met. Like, everyone was very professional. So I got wheeled back up to my room, and I had to like shimmy back onto the bed. I wasn't in any pain at this point because obviously you're very drugged up at this point, but I just felt very tight, and I had the strap in all over and around, and I had drains, this was the only thing I was scared of, was having drains, but it was fine. But when they tried to take them out, one of them got stuck. I'm pretty sure it was my right, yeah, and that really hurt, but not as bad as childbirth, but it just really cringed me out. That was the only bad thing that happened. Yeah, after a while I got told that I needed to get up and obviously start walking around to make sure I was fine. And I actually come over funny at this point. I just come over feeling very, very hot. I just think it was because I hadn't eaten. I've got a picture, and my nan's got like a cold flannel on my head, like trying to cool me down and make me feel better. Yeah, after I had some toast and tea, I perked up, I was fine. So I got discharged around 5 PM, so it was quite a long day. So yeah, the nurse came in and prescribed me all my painkillers and everything, and said, I can't remember what they gave you, but it was like ibuprofen, paracetamol, and something stronger, codamol, I think, I want to say. Yeah, and then I went off, and I felt absolutely fine, like no problems. I just felt very tight where I had all this strapping on me. I walked to the car park by myself, fine, no problems. And I went home, and yeah, that was the end of my surgery day. There was hardly any problems, nothing to be scared about at all, no pain whatsoever. So recovery was actually pretty easy. The day after, I know this was really bad, I actually went to Morrison's with my mum. It did feel very tight and a little bit uncomfortable, but I wasn't in any pain. I was taking my painkillers, which I do advise you do. Like, do not take them because you will be in pain. So yeah, the first day, second day, fine. The third day, I woke up around 4 o'clock in the morning, and I just had this pain on my side where my strapping had covered my drain, where my drains were. And I just felt like I just needed to rip that off. It was like pulling on my skin underneath. And it was, oh, imagine like putting off a plaster and you know you get that pinching feeling. Yeah, imagine that like 10 times worse, but under your armpit. Yeah, so I actually pulled that bit of strapping off myself, and I ended up taking the top layer off, and I just felt amazing. After that, I was in no more pain. That was the only thing that was causing me pain. I did get told off for taking that bit of strapping off because you're not supposed to apparently, but no, I'm not having my skin just sitting there being pinched for another 5 days. No thank you. 7 days post-op, I went to my post-op appointment, and that's where the nurse told me I shouldn't have took the strapping off. And this is the only problem I had with Maya. I did feel like the nurse was very abrupt and she wasn't very caring. I felt like she kind of spoke quite down to me just because I took this little bit of strapping off. And yeah, I didn't really feel much compassion from her, to be honest. Everyone who I'd met before that was all very upbeat and very lovely, but yeah, I wasn't very much of a fan of her, to be honest. She must have just been having a bad day, I don't know. So yeah, that appointment went fine, there was no problems. She booked me in for my 6-week post-op. I want to say that's correct. I cannot remember, my notes are up in the loft, so I'm doing this all by memory. So yeah, the next 6 weeks were fine. I went to Newcastle. Yeah, I was fine. I literally lived in sports bras for 6 weeks. And then at 6 weeks, I went and got measured, which I was so excited for, honestly. I could not wait to be measured. I was so happy with them. The results were absolutely amazing. I'll put in some pictures of me 6 weeks post-op in Newcastle if I can. Yeah, they looked freaking amazing. I was so happy with them. I was so happy with the size. They was very swollen still at this point. That's another thing. You do swell up quite a lot and they go down and you kind of get a bit of boob greed. But I haven't got that no more. I'm very happy with the size. Yeah, I went and got measured, and I went to Bow Avenue, and she measured me as a 32E, which is what I wanted. So yeah, he told me I could only get a D to a double D, but like I said, boob job sizes come up weird, and although the implant size is meant to be a D double D, I was actually measuring a 32E, which is what I wanted, and I was so happy. I've never been so happier in my life at this point, apart from giving birth to Brodie. But yeah, I was over the moon. I bought about 6 bras. I was on top of the world basically. So cost, I paid overall £4,595. That was for the whole treatment, implants, surgery, everything, and included aftercare. And I decided to go for the 0% interest finance option, and I actually paid half up front. So I actually paid £2,297 up front, and then over 10 months interest free I paid £229 a month. And yeah, that 10 months flew by. And how I paid for it was basically I just had savings, but I didn't want to use all my savings on getting my boobs done, which is why I paid half up front and then the rest over 10 months. It just made sense. And I do really recommend MYA if they still do this, because it's interest free, and they do have other finance options, which I believe is, I can't remember exact, I want to say 17% at the time, but it may be higher than that interest rate, and I think you can do it over like 3-4 years, which is really good. So if you haven't got the money up front, definitely look into the finance options, because they can really help you out. So how pregnancy has affected them? It hasn't, basically. My boobs still look exactly the same but bigger. I'm now a 32F, double F, just because I have put on weight since having Brodie, which I'm trying to lose, so hopefully I can get down to 32E again, because they are pretty big at the moment. But shape wise, fine, nothing's changed. They have dropped slightly, which he said will happen, not just because of pregnancy, just because over time. But that's what I wanted. I wanted a natural slope to my boob. I didn't want them high up to my chin. So they look fine. They look exactly the same as before I got pregnant, basically, but just a little bit bigger. And some little tips of what I did to keep them the same throughout pregnancy was I just lived in sports bras. Ever since I got my boobs done, every single night I sleep in a sports bra or a crop top or some sort. I very rarely go out without a bra. I very rarely sleep without a bra. I just feel like I've paid all this money to have my boobs look amazing. Why am I going to ruin them? Obviously, it's not going to keep them perfect forever, but I do really feel like taking care of them and sleeping in sports bras since I had them done has really helped. I feel like if I hadn't have done that, they would have dropped a lot more by now, where they're quite heavy. And that's another thing, they are quite heavy, and it does take a little bit of getting used to. I do find myself slouching over a little bit, but you just have to remember to sit up straight, basically. But yeah, pregnancy hasn't really affected my boobs. I know this is not the case for everyone. I do believe if you look after them, nothing will change. So yeah, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope I haven't missed anything out. If I have, please just drop a comment below and I'll message you back, or message me on Instagram and I'll message you back any questions you have, or if you want to see more photos. Obviously, if you're a legit person, not if you're just like a random man. I'm happy to send them to you, and I can also send you the link to my MYA forum profile, which has got some pictures on of like before and after. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and hit the red button below and subscribe, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!